Ah. Yo, people, Tobs' take is back. Jordan is back. Bloody hell, what a day. I've literally just got into my house, plugged up my computer, turned the light on, and fired up the stream. My voice is croaky, but Jordan's smiling.
Yeah.
Which means Spurs won today. Opening game of the season. How have you been? How have you been?
Yeah, it's been a while, isn't it? It's been. I mean, I don't even remember if I did the last game of the season with you. But yeah, man, all good today. I mean, you can tell by the complexion on my face, my blood pressure is still high after today. But yeah, man, it's. I've been good. You? I feel like we haven't really spoken either. How have you been?
I've been coasting, to be honest. Like, I've not really. Sorry, I had a.
It's gone, isn't it? The voice is gone, bro.
Yeah, voice is gone, and I had the man flu the past couple of days, but no, I've been okay in it. Like, I've tried to not let Spurs stress me, but today I said, you know what, win or lose, I just want to see like a really good performance. You know, a performance that I can hang my hat on and say, yeah, like fair enough, we did the best we could. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what I was hoping for. Like, honestly, this season, before we get into the Man City game, this season for me, it's about vibes, isn't it? Like, I don't really have any expectations. I don't expect us to finish in the top 4. I don't even expect us to finish in the top 6 at this rate unless we make some improvements into the team. But I'm gonna give Nuno a chance, even though we spoke about Nuno before. I didn't really want Nuno, and so let's see what can happen. Good start today, but yeah, here to talk about the Man City game against Spurs at our ground. And I just want to start off by saying this is the 4th consecutive game Man City have played at our new stadium, and they haven't won.
Haven't scored either.
To add insult to injury as well, they've not even scored. They've not scored a single goal at this ground. And unfortunately, you weren't there, Jordan, but me personally, that's the best performance I've seen from us against a side better than us, at home with fans in the stadium since the 1-0 win against Man City in the Champions League. You remember that one when Son scored that goal? Yeah. We won at 1-0 when Harry Kane went off injured. But that's the best performance because I felt defensively we were sound today. Like, we were excellent defensively today. And I felt, in absence of keeping the ball and stuff like that, I felt like we broke really well.
Yeah.
What was your sort of like snapshot takeaway from the game before we get into specifics?
Takeaway from the game for me, I mean, there was so much good that came out today. Like you say, it's difficult to look at one aspect and go, okay, that's why we won the game, or that's why this was that. For me, it was just what looks like clear organisation. Like you say, in transition, in certain scenarios, everyone just looked like they knew where to be. And like I said to you just off stream, I think it was evident where, like I said, in previous games against City where we've won at our stadium, I've always, throughout that game, been mad nervous from first minute to 90. I've still gone, oh, we could be 2-0 up and it'll be 3-2 by the end of the game. There was still an element of that, but I felt so much more comfortable watching today's game. I never really felt like we were on the ropes. Obviously, they had chances, but yeah, I think the organisation was massive. Yeah, man. Yeah, spot on. So, and you have to give credit to Nuno for that.
100%.
Because if you look at
you can see the ticker now. I've had to put it as breaking news because you would have thought that asking for some organisation without putting the whole team behind the ball was absurd.
Yeah, and I think that the key surprise of that as well with the organisation, because look, we've done these shows for enough now to know that the personnel we had in the back four today are usually personnel which organisation isn't something that naturally comes to them. But it shows it can be, I don't expect you, like you said, don't want to get over ahead of yourself, but it shows it can be done with personnel which we've said for a long time is not up to up to scratch. So credit to Nuno, credit to the players, and organisation was literally unreal today. I'm not, like you said, I've not seen a game where we've looked that organised for seasons. Like even under Jose, with some of the big results we've got against United and whatever, I've not seen us look that assured at the back. To be fair, so unreal.
Yeah, so we'll of course we'll have to talk about Harry Kane, but I don't want to speak about Harry Kane first. I actually want to praise the team first, and then we'll speak on Harry Kane, because what people need to realize is this is the 1, 2, 3. This is the third time we've beaten Man City without Harry Kane finishing 90 minutes or starting a game. Like, out of the 4 times we've beaten them, 3 of them have been largely without our best player. But speaking on the performance itself, I'm not gonna lie, I saw the lineup and I said, God help us. Like,
did you see my tweet as well before? I just put, oh no, in it.
I saw the lineup and I said, bro, God help us.
Yeah, I was
literally
praying.
God help us, because when you look at that lineup on paper and you see no Kane, no Ndombele, you see Skipp starting his first game for us this season against literally the best side in the league, the side that keep the ball the best in the league. You see Dyer and Sanchez starting together, knowing the chaos that they've caused the past couple of months. Chaos is the right word.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
You see Dele starting, knowing how poor he's been for us in recent competitive games, not pre-season, competitive games.
Yeah.
And then you see even Lucas Moura, fair enough, because he had a good pre-season, but there wasn't enough for you to be like, yeah, I'm expecting something from this team. Yeah. But their performance today as a unit was actually really good. Like, I'm walking out of that game thinking Man City can't even be aggrieved that we won this game. Like, they can't be aggrieved.
No. And I think that was unanimous, wasn't it? Like, from pundits to fans to everyone on Twitter. I don't know many Man City fans, so I don't know what their thoughts are on it. But like you say, looking at the lineup and Dele was one, but even for me, just looking at the front three, we've seen Son down the middle so many times and it hasn't quite worked. And Lucas is hit and miss, and I didn't even want to start. I mean, I'll give him some credit today, but I didn't even want to start when I saw Stephen Bergwijn's name on the team sheet as well. But like you say, it just worked, like you said. And I think I saw Nuno after the game mention that, which is we're like, the plan is we're trying to be a unit, and that's exactly what it looked like. Like, it kind of didn't matter who was on the pitch for me at a certain stage. Once I'd kind of got used to the way we were playing, it was like when we brought on Lo Celso, I was like, well, I'm quite confident that he's going to do a similar job to whoever they're taking off. I mean, I was a bit concerned when they brought Doherty on, to be fair. But,
I think that's come from Nuno. That was probably the one thing this game where I was like, Nuno, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
But then it sort of made sense when he brought on Romero, because he went to a back five, and then he had Bergwijn and Doherty as the wing back. So fair enough to him, but still, just in that moment, making a sub like Doherty for Tanganga, who was the man of the match. We'll talk about him in a second. Was crazy. I want to zero in on a comment here from Jack. Big up Jack as well. So we've been here before. We've seen it 1,000 times. Jose and João Sacramento, press. And yet our press was useless. We circle back to the game in the League Cup against Man City. There was literally no press whatsoever. Like, it was really bad. And then you fast forward to today, it was clear to see that there was instruction there. Tanganga, for the majority of the first half, was touch tight on Raheem Sterling. Didn't let him breathe.
Yeah.
Midfielders, Højbjerg. I think the only midfielder who I felt could play through the press today was Fernandinho. I felt he was the only one who could play through the press and still find his passes. Jack Grealish, he could dribble, but in terms of passing through us, I felt Fernandinho was the only one who could do that effectively today. And that's a testament to how well we pressed in midfield. I felt Højbjerg was excellent today. Like, he was really good. And
that's the best game I've seen from him since he first came in, because he had a period where he was gone and he looked like the Højbjerg that we first signed. So no, sorry, continue.
No. You're right. And I'll let you speak on this in a second as well. I felt like our press today was organized. Like there were specific people where we knew, yep, we're going to be on you. As soon as Benjamin Mendy gets the ball, Lucas Moura on him. I felt like the midfielders were doing as much pressing as they could. Even Dele as well, pressing well and forcing Man City out wide. And when you force Man City out wide, Tanganga's there, Lucas Moura is there, Reguilon is there. So I felt the pressing was good today. Even Son as well. I felt like he pressed well from the front too as well. And I need to check the stats, but I'm pretty sure we dispossessed Man City a couple of times today as well. So I need to check the turnover statistics, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were quite high enough.
There were a few turnovers I can remember. Not necessarily just high up the pitch, but in transition from a low block and then just turning over and springing it. I mean, how many counter-attacks did we see like in the first half? So yeah, 100%. The pressing was mad. And I think that's another thing you can highlight based off the pressing is, and I know people will take it back to potentially the Poch era, which I'm not going to do, but the fitness levels just looked different from last season. Like you said, every preseason game, this game, we finish in the game so strong. Like we don't look leggy, which I think is massive. Again, sorry, man, continue.
No. You go. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I just mirror like what you said, and I think the best thing about the press, like you say, we've seen it with Jose, where it was just it seemed a direction of just press, and we saw it so many times, especially against a team like Chelsea at times, City, where we would just aimlessly press, and someone like Højbjerg, who will do that job, would just get popped around little triangles because you weren't pressing at the right moments. Like there were periods in the game today where the front three didn't press, and we let Man City have the ball, but we were so structured and organised that, I mean, the commentators, well, watching it at home, were saying like that it's like Man City are playing walking football, but we closed off the spaces so well, and in the right moments, like you said, when it went to Benjamin Mendy or it went to an area that we've targeted, that's when the press happened, and that's when we say we don't make that press, the rest of the team is still so structured that we're not left exposed. So I just think, like you say, for the limited amount of time that one, Nuno's had, two, like we've had areas of the squad that haven't come back at the same time, and like certain players have only had a week to train or 2 weeks to train, it looked like everyone understood their roles, their jobs and everything. And like I said, I didn't want Nuno. I'm sure you didn't want Nuno. I'm still not saying that he was the ideal man for the job. But to be able to get that message across in the first game of the season against the reigning champions, when you've got a story about Harry, like you say, go into that side as well, looming over, for everyone to keep their focus and play the game the way they did, I thought it was surprising, is what I'd say. But yeah, unbelievable. Like, I mean, like I said to you, I was so gutted I wasn't there, man. Just like seeing everyone's Instagram stories as well, man.
Mate, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like you missed out today, man. Football is back. Like when Son scored that goal, the South Stand went berserk, absolutely berserk, and it felt so good. It felt so. It was fitting that the first game we had back with close to full capacity, with away fans in, against this level of opposition, with all the circumstances, that it would end that way, and it was so good. I really wanted that for the team and for the fans. Like, it was brilliant. I can't even lie to you. I'm trying to make it easy for you. But
you're hurting, bro.
It was absolutely brilliant. As I said, it's the best game I've been to since that Man City 1-0 win when Son scored again in the Champions League. So I agree with your thoughts on Nuno as well. Like, I respect what he did at Wolves. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think he's a bad manager. I think you can call Nuno a good manager. I think he is a good manager, but I didn't think he was the type of manager that we needed. Do you get what I'm saying? And it still remains to be seen. But so I'm not really gonna like dive straight in. Like, I don't know. I need to see how it plays out. But it's a great start, and we have to give him credit for, like you said, instilling the importance of this game with the circumstances over our heads today, and getting 3 points against the Man City side. And like you said as well, and like some people are saying in the comments, getting a deserved 3 points as well. There's no ambiguity on the result. Like, it's deserved. It's black and white. Spurs were the better side today against Man City. So looking at some of the key players as well, Tanganga, we heard in the press that Galatasaray made a loan bid for him a couple weeks back or something like that, and the decision was up to the player. That news going cold for me says that like he doesn't want to go there, and I think Nuno starting him against Arsenal in pre-season at right back, starting him at right back again against Man City, that tells me you want to keep this guy this season and you know what he's capable of doing. And I remember saying it to my friends that I think it would be stupid for us to let this guy go on loan, because what do we yes, he would gain more game time, consistent game time, but I feel he can get that at Spurs. If we played a back three, I would want Tanganga as one of the three centre backs. If we play a back four, I would put Tanganga at right back because I think he's much better defensively than Matt Doherty, and I think he is a more of a long-term solution than Serge Aurier, even though Serge Aurier is probably a better attacker. So for me, today was beautiful to see him do what he did, because he's dominant, and every single time he plays against Man City, he always pockets Raheem Sterling. Always.
Yeah. But I think that's what we miss as well, like, especially in a fullback situation. I think rightly so, everyone's talking about how defensively astute he was and how aggressive he was. Like you saw, like I think it was literally minute 3 or minute 2, and he's straight into the back of Sterling. Then he did it to Grealish like twice, and then did it again to Sterling. Like that's fantastic. But then ultimately, it was all area of his game as well. Like, I mean, he wasn't bombing down the right and putting in crosses left, right, and centre, but he knew when to go forward. He knew when to stay back. I mean, there was a pass in the second half, a little diags over to, I think it was Dele, which is just all areas, and he just looked so comfortable. And it reminded me of the game when he came in. Was it his debut against Liverpool when he was up against Mane?
Yeah, against Liverpool, Mane. Yeah.
And he just looked so comfortable. And I don't think we've got, like, his consistency might be a thing just based off the injuries that he's had, and he's going to need like a run of games. But ultimately, I mean, let's put it this way: with Serge Aurier, with Doherty, and even if you want to go back as far as Trippier, I mean, Trippier had some good moments in a Spurs shirt. But like, when was the last time you saw a fullback for us perform to that level in a game like this?
100.
Like, so how can you? Yeah,
exactly.
Hands down. And then, so how can you let this man potentially, based on a performance like that, go on loan to Galatasaray? Because if anything, for me, that then, like you say, he's going to get game time, but is the level in that league the same as the Premier League? Obviously, it's an intense league, it's a physical league, everything like that. But if anything, I think it potentially halts his progress. Do you know what I mean? Like, as opposed to Skippy, I feel like that loan made sense. I feel like going to Turkey doesn't really make sense for Tanganga. So
yeah. As I said, I agree. Like, I wasn't happy at the prospect of him going on loan when we're keeping people like Sanchez and Dyer in the team, keeping people like Joe Rodon. I have nothing against Joe Rodon, but it's like we're keeping all these players who are going to play role player roles, but Japhet Tanganga, who can play two positions and has actually proven himself against some of the strongest sides in the league, we're loaning him out when we actually need a right back. It doesn't seem as if the club are looking to sign a new right back this summer. We've got 2 weeks left. Aurier's still here. They've not moved him on. Doherty's still here. They've not moved him on. We know full well Serge Aurier, he had a good season last year. Like,
I agree.
He had a good season last year, but he wants to leave. We know we can't hang our hat on Aurier.
No.
And we already know the situation with Doherty. He's 29 years old and he just can't play the right back role. He can't do it. He can't do it. He could improve this season. I could be wrong, but based on what we've seen, he can't do it. So if you're looking for a stable presence in the big games, play Tanganga. I'm not even saying play him every game, because there will be some games where we need an outlet on that right-hand side. And those are the type of games you can look at a Doherty or a Serge. But for the most part, I want this guy playing. I want him to be the first name to look at when we're talking about right back. If you're telling me we're not going to sign a right back, cool, that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but okay, I'll eat that.
If we're going to do that, then I want to see.
Don't loan him out. Simple as. Don't loan him out.
Yeah, I mean, the only risk with him, and like you say, we all want to see him play more and play more consistently, is the injuries, and you just hope that was a season which some players have, where they just go through this spell of picking things up. But it would be a killer, like you say, if he starts the season like this, goes and plays against Wolves next weekend, and picks up another injury, which keeps him out for 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. And I think that's the only risk with keeping someone like that, and then, like you say, not bringing in a competent right back or someone that those two are going to challenge each other, and only relying on, like you say, Aurier and Doherty. But fingers crossed he stays fit, man, because if you can perform like that most weeks, then
bro, yeah, it's yeah, we got a solid player there, man. We really do. Like, fair enough. You may not see him go into world class levels, but like, he's a good functioning player, young player in our team now. Like, he give him minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? Give him minutes. Also, as well, these weird spammers as well. Like,
I was just seeing that, man.
It's 9:15 on a Sunday.
I was gonna say, no one's got anything better to do.
There's so many things you could be doing right now in your time, but I guess they want to do this. So fair.
Lonely, man.
We have to talk about Son as well. This ain't going to be a long stream, but we have to talk about Son because this guy, I don't know who his advisors are. I'm not sure why he signed a new deal.
Trust me. But so buzzing about it as well.
I'm not sure why he signed a new deal, but this guy loves our club, and I love this player so much for that. Like, he loves our club. Signs a new contract, and then he bangs against Man City on the opening game of the season. Like, after banging against Arsenal in the friendly last year, like, this guy. I used to say 3-4 years ago that after Harry Kane, Dele was our biggest big game player. I used to say that because he banged against Chelsea, Madrid, Man United, etc., etc. But this Son guy, he has in the last 3-4 years, he has stepped up to the plate every single time.
I agree.
Every single time against these big sides, and he's delivering. And it's like, this season, we spoke about it last year, where he petered out towards the petered out in the second half of the year. I want to see a more consistent Son spread out throughout the season. But today, his work rate, his finishing, his pressing, especially playing through the middle as well, not his favorite position as well. I have to give this guy respect because he is a supreme player for us. And without a doubt, he's going to be up there with one of the best wide men in the league and on the planet as well. Like, he's an unbelievable player. Like, he really is. And Man City must be sick to the side of this guy because he always scores against them.
7 goals now? 7 goals against City? Like, seven, in this whole Spurs career, 7 against City. And I think I saw a stat as well, because obviously early in his career, that was his main thing as well. Like you say, he goes through spells. He goes through like 10 games where he doesn't score any. I know he had a spell like that again last season. But the stats were, I think he's made like 180 Prem appearances or something like that, 70 goals and 49 assists or 39 assists. It was like 109 goals and assists in 170 or 180 games, which that's just that's top tier level. Do you know what I mean? And I think the best thing you can say about Son is, like you say, we used to say he can't play up the middle, which is, like you say, still not his favourite position, but I think he's improved. He's improved in that area. His finishing is just gone next level. Like, for me, similar to with Harry, like, if he's 1-on-1 or he's got a chance, I don't even think he's missing. I think goal. Not to the same level as potentially Harry, but he's become that player which you rely on so comfortably in those opportunities. Like, even today with the goal, we've seen that pattern so many times that when he stood up Ake and he cut in, I was like, well, it's hitting the target, it's in.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just testament to him, man. And I think, I don't know how, like, what you think on this, but do you think it could potentially be, like, if say Kane does go, and I know we'll cover that at another point, do you reckon that could potentially be a good thing for Son, where he kind of feels like he's now the main guy? Obviously, you don't want to lose someone like Harry and just rely on someone like Son, but do you think that could potentially be a benefit for him?
I don't know if it will be a benefit. I don't know if it will be a benefit because I feel like you see a better version of Son with Kane in the team. I know he's bagged goals.
Yeah.
In Kane's absence, he stepped up to the plate, but I'm talking about as a well-rounded player, like scoring, creating, etc. You see a better version of Son with Kane in the team. But what I will say, though, is that he has been a player who steps up when we need him to step up.
Yeah.
In the absence of Harry Kane. And I think if Kane leaves, I think he will rise to the occasion and he will relish being like our best player.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been Harry Kane. It's been Harry Kane, and Son's always been behind him over the
You're
past
supporting act, innit?
Yeah. But I think he will rise to the occasion. I think he will. I think he'll relish being the main man.
But that's exactly what I felt today. That's why I said, maybe I phrased it wrong when I said, I know what you mean. It doesn't benefit him, and I'm not going to say it benefits the team either. But like, I feel like he would enjoy that aspect of being Tottenham's main man, like you say, because it's always been Kane and Son, but you know that Son's playing the understudy or the supporting act. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And let's spend moving on from Son. Let's talk about. Sorry, I still got a chesty cough.
Cool, bro.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lucas Moura, because listen, we've spoken about it. Bonehead, yeah.
Moura, you know, there's only one half left.
Moura. But honest to God, I saw this guy in preseason. I said, yeah, he's killing it in preseason, but I want to see it in competitive game. And today, hands up.
Yeah.
Sorry, flipping hell. Flip's sake. Yeah. Sorry, my voice is gone, and this fucking the remnants of this cold I had or flu. But yeah, I think he was really good today. Like, the end product is still lacking with Lucas Moura, but there was one opportunity where he played Son in on the right hand side, and obviously Son took too long. His usual ability to commit players, like just go past players. That chance that Bergwijn somehow didn't get on target, that doesn't happen without Lucas Moura forcing the issue. And I think my issue is when he puts his head down and just goes and doesn't look up. Yeah. Today, off the ball, he was excellent.
Agreed.
Absolutely excellent. Pressing well, hassling, hounding Benjamin Mendy, hounding Nathan Ake. Like, I knew once I saw Ake and Mendy starting, those are the two weakest players in Man City's defense.
Yeah.
So I knew that right-hand side, we have to exploit it. And we did. And I really, really appreciate what Lucas Moura has done today. And I'm hoping that he wins me over completely this season and gets me back to the thoughts that I had of him 2-3 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we've spoken about this a million times. He can shoot with his left foot. He can shoot with his right foot. He can carry the ball really well.
Yeah.
And he loves the club. Why is it not meshing? Because his brain is just not there. Like, he does dumb things and he's just so sporadic. So if we can get a more constant version of Lucas Moura, you don't even have to play like that every week.
Every game. I know what you mean.
But just give us a steady level of performances and output. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I think mirror everything you said, and I think for me personally, I think Jaffet deserved obviously man of the match just based off. I mean, he was an animal today, but I think you could match it and say Lucas Moura equally deserved man of the match. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, Ajax game aside, we'll ignore that. I've always said that, you know, one, like you said, we know Lucas Moura's got crazy footwork. If his head's up, he can beat 3 or 4 players at once and then eventually run into someone.
Run into a brick wall.
Yeah, but I've always said, like, in Europa League, in early stages of Champions League, like, he suits European football. He's too lightweight for the Prem. Every game I see him come up against the Prem, he'll do those runs, and there's like, it could be anyone, bro. It could be like the smallest fullback in the world will just send him flying because he just doesn't have the physicality for the league. This was the first game against top opposition as well, where the things that he usually tries to do, like you say, those quick turns, running at 3 or 4 people, beating people, and then laying off a pass, actually came off pretty much every time and had like a huge impact on a game that really mattered. Like I say, bar the Ajax game. But like you say, this is nothing new in the sense of we know that he's capable of these things. It's just you'll see it like once in a game and then there's no impact for the next 15 games. Like it's genuinely that extreme. So, I mean, for me, this is crunch season. I mean, you can't go another season on top of this if there's no impact from Lucas Moura. And the fact that he's just put that performance in on the first game of the season, like you say, you just need to see it potentially get at Wolves or the game after and just see a level of consistency and output. Because it's not even about goals and assists from that aspect. Then, like if he plays like he did today, then he's had a real impact on the game, and I don't care whether he scores or assists. Do you know what I mean? So,
like,
yeah,
don't get it twisted. Like a player of his a player with his capability to score, you should score more. You should create more. But fundamentally, you need to give us a respectable performance. Give us a respectable performance, and we build from there. If you can't even give us that, why are you here?
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying? So I agree with everything you said, and let's see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But what we can say for sure is that he's won the trust of Nuno. He's impressed with preseason. He's won the trust of Nuno, so he's gonna have his opportunity.
There's no excuses this season. That's what I'm saying. We're not going to bring someone in on that right side where he's not going to play. Do you know what I mean? We're just not. So he's going to have the bulk of the Premier League games for me. So if at the end of the season or in January, whenever, you go, well, it's the same old shit. Do you know what I mean? Then there's nothing else to hang it out, and there's no excuse. There's no pushback. Because before it would be like, Poch didn't really fancy him, or Jose put him in for his work rate, but he was in a defensive side and couldn't really do anything and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's agree with you. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I do like. I think he's going to be in competition with, I reckon, Bryan Hill and Bergwijn. I think they're going to be in competition for those two wide spots, because I think Son's the undisputed starter. Let's be real, and depending on what happens in the Kane situation, whoever plays up top. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's going to be, and I think out of all three, Moura is the one who's got the nod right now. So Bryan Hill needs to work his way into the team. Bergwijn is Bergwijn. We'll speak on him in a second. But moving on, so we've spoken about Højbjerg. He played really well today, etc., etc. I just want to move on to the next part of the analysis, which is, okay, Man City, I didn't think they played particularly well today. I felt like they kept the ball, but they weren't really incisive. I felt Jack Grealish, he looked okay, but I don't think that was his best performance at all. No. I don't think he had as much of an impact as you normally expect from Jack Grealish. I think Mahrez, bar a period where he skinned Dele for fun, skinned him out of his socks.
Sent him for a hot dog that one time,
I felt he was quiet. I felt like Reguilon did really well on that left-hand side. And then I felt, up top, Ferran Torres, invisible, and that's a credit to Dyer and Sanchez. They were absolutely excellent.
Insane.
They were excellent today, and we don't often say this. Like,
we never say this. We never say this.
We spoke about the two agents of chaos. They were excellent today. I felt, even Gundogan, I felt we kept them subdued. Cancelo, we didn't really see him going forward as much. I'm not going to lie. I felt like Man City could have played a lot better today, but I think that's largely down to what we did.
100%. That's what I was going to say.
Today. I felt like we did really well to subdue their threat. I wanted to ask you though about Kevin De Bruyne, because like, I don't know about you, but like, he just reinforces how good he is every single time. He doesn't start a game for me and he comes on as a sub, because you see the impact that he has immediately.
Instant as well.
Do you remember when Belgium were losing to Denmark? He comes on and he basically just flips the game on its head
switch
for Belgium. And then today, yes, people, I've taken a COVID test. It's negative.
I was waiting for that one.
But he came on today, and it was like a completely different team were playing. Like he just scares the living daylights out of you. His passing, his dribbling, his intelligence, where he picks up the ball, when he drives, when he passes, when he shoots, he's just quality, absolutely quality, bro.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't get. He's one of the few players in the Prem anyway that, like, I don't even know who to compare him to. Like you say, he doesn't even have to come on and necessarily do something mad, but just the fact that he's on the pitch, like you say, pushes your centre halves a few yards further back or tucks in your fullbacks, so there's space out wide. Just him being on the pitch is like just strikes fear into everyone. And I mean, encapsulates it when he first came. I think it was literally within like the first minute. he picked up some mad space in between. I think it was Sanchez's side, and then just behind Højbjerg, and the ball's fizzed into him, and that's it. All of a sudden, he's like coming across the 18-yard box and trying to get a shot away, which is it's just different level. Like, I mean, City have got players all over the pitch, but to make such a difference in that side, it just shows you the levels this guy is. Like,
yeah, no, I get you. He's quality. Now on to the not so great part of our performance. So, like, we have to look at the areas that could do with some improvement. Skipp today. What were your thoughts? Because it was a lot. I thought it was a lot for him today. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough game to make your first start of the season, and especially coming just from a great season with Norwich. Don't get me wrong, but playing Man City for Tottenham in the first game of the season is a different beast, isn't it? I think there was, he was lucky with the Jack Grealish moment early on. But I think what you can say is, one, he grew into the game. I think he got better as the game went on, and
definitely
two,
in the second half he did,
yeah, 100%. And then two, I think what you can say is he came with the right idea behind, like the same way Tanganga did. Do you know what I mean? Like that aggression, getting tight to people. Skipp may have mistimed a few of those and looked out of place at moments, but I think playing that way was the right thing for him to do, and it got him involved in the game. And like I say, as that game went on, second half, I thought it was much better. And ultimately, I think, you're talking about the other options are Ndombele and probably the Celso, who are, because I'm not putting Sissoko in there, who are two better footballers, more experienced, etc. But I don't think you could say it was a bad performance or an overly good performance. But I think he'd done well enough, and I think he was kind of lucky that the rest of the team performed in the way they did, because I think if the rest of the team had a bad game, it would have exposed it a little bit more. But I'm happy for someone like Skipp to be playing, not every game, but I think in the right games, like when you're playing against Man City, you potentially do want two more defensive or holding type midfielders. And he's industrious. He gets about, and he can play ball. He's not at the level where you want him to be your starting centre mid week in, week out in the biggest games that you're going to have all season. But there's definite improvement from him. Like, he's made progression, and the only way he's going to continue doing that is by playing games and minutes. I think he did. I just think the best way to summarise it is he did well. Do you know what I mean? For a game like that, personally.
Yeah, fair. See, I don't want to put too much blame on him, because I actually think Skipp is a solid prospect for us, but I don't think he played well today. I'm not going to lie. I think first half was all over the shop, but
shaky.
Again, it's to be expected. This is your first start since Leicester, like 2 years ago under Pochettino, against the reigning champions. So overall, fair. I think second half he grew into the game, definitely, but I still think we will see more from Oliver Skipp. Like, today was definitely not like a good version of Oliver Skipp for me. I think based off what I saw from Norwich, there's definitely more to come from him than today.
Yeah, there's more. But if you were to say, like I say, I know I've mentioned Ndombele and Lo Celso, potentially they wouldn't even be in that position. So you look at the other options there in today's game and the pace of it, especially in the first sort of 20 minutes in the first half. He's done tenfold more or better than Harry Winks would have done potentially in that first half. Do you know what I mean? So I almost go like, well, it's an improvement on last year for me. At
least he didn't hide today. Harry Winks, he hides. That's my issue. That's my issue. But Ethan saying give Skipp time, needs more. Listen, we'll give him time. He's going to have time at Spurs. But I do think, Skipp or no Skipp, we need more in the midfield. And that's not all down to Skipp. I was mentioning it to my mates that I would love someone like Bissouma to come into this midfield to play alongside Højbjerg and even Ndombele, who didn't play today. Have Skipp there coming in as well, doing his part, playing rotation or starting in some games as well. But moving on from Skipp as well, Dele as well, apparently my friend was telling me that Nuno called him a box-to-box midfielder today. I appreciate the defensive contribution, but honestly, I'm struggling to see what he offers us when he gets on the ball these days. Like he's an offensive-minded midfielder, and we're now switching it to but he's defending well now. Like I'm not in the business of praising a player for the defensive output when the offensive output is lacking. Lucas Moura today did the defensive work well, and he was a threat defensively. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's difficult. I mean, it's a tough one to talk about Dele these days, isn't it? I mean, because we don't really know. Like, it's almost like you've got to forget if we're going to keep him and we're going to play him and we're going to have to use him in whatever capacity we're going to use him in, which it looks like we're going to, is we kind of have to pretend that the first 2 seasons didn't happen, because you're always going to look back at that and go, well, why is he not doing that? Do you know what I mean? And you know me, we've spoken about Dele a lot over the last 18 months or whatever, and I'm not a defender of Dele. If anything, I'm probably the opposite. Do you know what I mean? But I think the time has come that if he's going to stay and he's going to play, then you have to forget 20 goals a season or 10 assists or whatever it might be. You just have to kind of isolate what he does do for the team. And personally, like I say, this is not me saying he's had a very good performance or even a good performance, but I don't even want to say his impact on the game, because that's pushing it too far. But for me, this was actually his best game I've seen him play, which is, he hasn't played a lot of games since West Ham away in 2019, Jose's first game. That was the best performance I've seen, and that's mainly because, and that's nothing to do with his impact on the ball or anything like that. It was, as you mentioned, his press for 90 minutes. I think he ran further than anyone today, which was like 11K or something like that.
Yeah, he did. He put in a shift.
He put in a shift. And like I think I even said it to you before from one game from last year, it's got to that point that, with Dele, the best you're kind of going to get is what he used to do when he first burst on the scene, which was that aggression, that shithousery to an extent, breaking up play, fouls, all that kind of stuff. He's always going to try the odd nutmeg, but you just know that he's not, if you're breaking away on a counter-attack, if anything, he's going to slow that down. He's not going to be part of the front three, which looks so fluid and all of this. So I just think today it kind of worked for him, just doing that, because the front three worked so well. The back, the defensive unit worked so well. So he was kind of just left to press, break up play.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean? And that's I don't want people to take that out of context and me going, look, Dele's back in an unreal game, because that's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah. But I think and this is what I said when Dele was who he was and he was at the peak of what he was doing, was because the rest of the team didn't need him. It was like he was just free to go and do what he wanted, because the rest of the team was so strong and so functioning. And that can potentially even work in this sense. Like if you've got a back five or a four that's so strong, for example, and then your front three are doing the business, then he can be kind of just left to be a bit of a nuisance. Do you know what I mean? Which is a useful trait to have if the rest of your team is strong enough. When you've got a weak side, it just gets exposed and he looks like he's in no man's land. But the rest of the performance today kind of made him look better for me. But I understand your comments, and I think I saw your tweets as well saying like, no, this guy had a terrible game today. And I saw
I was looking at it from an offensive point of view. He didn't contribute anything to our attacks. I get what he did for us defensively, and he may have probably done that intentionally through instruction from Nuno to allow the front three to be more of a threat in transition. But whenever he had the ball, he was ponderous. He would lose it. It's just, it's the same. It's annoying.
Nothing new in it. Nothing new.
It's the same things that we've seen from him when he's not being as locked down as he was defensively today. So that's why it's just going through the motions now anyway. But let's move on from him as well. The last two players I want to speak about, Steven Bergwijn and Harry Kane.
Okay.
Bergwijn it's an interesting one, because last season I was defending. You were saying
you were.
I know he played his part for the goal today, and one or two times he looked decent in transition, but I'm in your camp now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't think this guy is a shit player, but he stinks for the most part at Spurs. Like he stinks. And I think it's just one of them ones where we just need to take a L except what 15 million euros, 16 million euros, whatever Ajax can offer us for him, because they're talking about him.
Yeah, they are publicly. Yeah, especially in a season like this. I mean, like you say, I don't even want to say that like I'm not like I've been slagging him off, or I'm not a fan of him, because that's not like, I don't like to ever get that personal anyway with players. It doesn't mean that much to me in that aspect, but it's just never delivered anything. Do you know what I mean? And when you're relying on a front three, and we don't have that much depth anyway, and like you say, potentially another key member of that front three maybe going soon anyway, just doesn't do enough. Just doesn't do enough. And like today, you said, there were a few moments where, and I'll admit,
he wasn't awful today.
No, this is one of his better games. But even in that moment, it's like he's got forward on the break and he's running into space. And tell me this: every time he run through, you were like, "This is what I was thinking." And tell me if I'm wrong. One, he doesn't make the pass and he gets tackled. Two, he overhits or underhits the pass. That's it. Or he shoots and misses. Basically, there was no occasion where he was getting forward where I was like, "Yeah, he'll make the right decision here." It was always the wrong decision with the finish, the 1-on-1, wrong decision. There was a time when he played in maybe Lucas, or tried to play in Lucas. I can't remember if it was Lucas or Son, and it was overhit and set him out wide. There's just so many occasions where you go, like, and you can't put it down to like lack of trust from managers. I know at a point Jose kind of had enough or whatever, but played him consistently. Nuno's put trust in him. And even in pre-season against, and it is only pre-season, against some lower oppositions, he's missing chances. It just looks like there's no confidence left in him to produce an end product. And I think once you got to that point, it's very difficult to bring it back. And like you say, just take the L, man. Like we need someone in that position which is gonna have some serious output for us, especially if we're going to lose the next player that you want to talk about. But I feel sorry for him to an extent, because, like you say, I genuinely probably have said that I do feel like this a lot last season. But I know what you mean. I don't feel like he is a shit footballer. There's definitely something there. But like you say, I feel like once you kind of you're branded this thing at Tottenham, like at any football club, if you're branded as the guy that doesn't score, or the guy that just, like you said, just stinks, like it's very hard to come back out of that. Do you know what I mean? So you just kind of need to cut your losses, take the L. I'm sure if he goes to Ajax, he could bang. He could be unreal. Do you know what I mean? And then potentially come back to the Prem or somewhere else later on. But I think your time's up, man. What is this? Is this the third season now that we're going into?
This will be, so last year was his first full season.
Full season, yeah.
This will be his second. If he makes it through the full season, this will be his second full season at the club.
I mean, I think he'll stay just because I think Nuno, like you said, I think Nuno quite likes him. But Jose had that impression when he came in, because you can't deny he works hard. He defensively does the right things. He's obviously quite an intelligent footballer, because he does seem to, like in defensive transition anyway, he creates the right shape and he's in the right positions most of the time. And even moving into an attacking transition, he's picking up the right spaces. Do you know what I mean? It's just his end product and making the right decisions in those moments. So, but I think he'll keep him personally, which, I don't know if I'm too disappointed about. I'm not too happy about it, but hopefully, like you said, I don't want him to have a bad season. Like if he can do well, that's better for us.
Like I would sell him. I'm not going to lie to you, but like he's not on the he's not on a Dyer Sanchez level for me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a level like of players that absolutely need to go this summer. But yeah, Harry Kane. Yes. So let's finish on this. So 48 minutes. I felt like let's spend maybe like another 3 more minutes. Then we'll cut it. We'll call it quits. But Harry Kane, my view was today was the perfect piece of evidence from City's perspective on why they need Harry Kane.
Yeah,
I said it when they signed Jack Grealish. I said, great signing. He will improve your team, and you're weakening another Premier League side and improving your team, and you're buying a player that probably fits into most Premier League teams. But that wasn't absolute essential for Man City this summer. You've seen today, in the absence of a focal point, they struggled. They absolutely struggled today. And yes, they won the league without a striker last season. Cool. Or without a first choice striker, because Gabriel is the secondary striker.
Yeah.
But ultimately, teams adapt. football moves on, there was still a couple games last year where they needed a striker.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And today they needed a striker. Like, they want Harry Kane. Harry Kane wants to lead to Man City. At this point now, for me, they're just wasting Kane's time and they're wasting the club's time. Like, Daniel Levy's not going to budge unless you make the offer that befits Harry Kane's status to us and to the league and to the world. So it's not like we want Man City to buy Harry Kane. We'll happily keep him. But they've spoken to him. They've
100%, yeah.
Of course, it's ultimately the club's fault for letting it get to a state where Harry Kane wants to leave. But they have made contact with him. Do you get what I'm saying? They've made contact with him. They've made moves for him. Now you need to finish it off, because now
we're pay up, innit?
Yeah,
pay up.
Up.
But I don't get it. I see yesterday or the day before, and I think I don't know if it was Fabrizio or whoever the hell was coming out with another statement again. But it was literally saying like they're waiting for Spurs to change their stance. Change our stance on what? We've said if you hit a number, we'll talk. If you don't hit that number, we won't talk. What stance do you want like us to change? And this is where I don't get the frustrations with, not from the fans, but like maybe from like Kane's camp with Spurs. I'm like, what can you be angry about? We've said if you want him, you can have him, but just pay the fucking money. Like I don't understand why people are getting so upset. I'm like, it's not that hard to understand.
It's crazy. And the thing is, it's almost as if people want us to push our best striker
for a reduced fee as well. To like reduce the fee.
Do that, bro. We don't want to sell him. We don't want to sell him, but we don't want to sell him, but he wants to leave, and he wants to leave. He's outgrowing the club, and a bigger and better club want him. So that bigger and better club need to make the offer that puts us in a position where we can let him go.
Well, we're in a position where we determine the value of what he is, and you've just gone and paid 100 million for Grealish, which it puts us even in a better position to go, well, we're valuing him at this. And it's the same as Brighton and Ben White, and people going, well, 50 million for Ben White's too much, blah, blah. And you could say, people would argue 100, whatever we're asking, 160, 70 million is too much for Kane. But we'll go, but we don't need to sell. So we can put a value on it of what we want. And if you want him, then you buy it. It's like you coming to my house, Tobi, and going, I want to buy your house, and it's valued at 300,000. Well, I go, but I don't want to leave, so I want 500,000. Okay, it may not be what it's worth, but I don't have to sell. So if you want it, you're going to have to pay potentially over the odds for it. It's just a mad situation. It actually pissing me off now as well, because they're saying they're waiting for Spurs to check. Well, you're waiting for when? The transfer window closes in 2 weeks. Like,
it's bizarre. It's bizarre. So time is ticking for them. Like,
yeah, 100%. I do they have time still? Like, do you think they'll make the sale now with 2 weeks?
I think they'll make the sale. I don't think I think the way Harry Kane's gone about this is stupid. And it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful from him. And I'm happy that Michael Richards was calling out Gary Neville today. As well, because he's getting away with murder here with
100%.
With some of these pundits. Only a few of them are saying it as it is, and it's not for me to say, oh yeah, I hate Harry Kane. I don't hate Harry Kane. I love the guy. But the way he's gone on about this is pathetic. And Neville said something today that makes me reinforce my belief that he's going, because every player in the England team who isn't
was at the Euros, is playing,
and was at the Euros, was in the matchday squad. Like, we've seen Harry Kane literally mash up his ankle and be back.
I tweeted that earlier. I tweeted
3-4 days. There's no way on earth a normal Harry Kane in a normal headspace is missing Man City at home, first game of the season with fans back in the stadium. Bro, something is amiss.
Bro, Brian Hill was playing in the Olympics like 5-6 days ago, and he's come back and trained like once, and he's in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Romero came back at the same time, had an injury, recovered from that injury supposedly, and he's played a bit today as well. That's what I said. I literally tweeted this today. I said, Harry Kane is the man that rushes himself back and literally plays with one ankle, and you're telling me that he's had like 6 weeks off and trained twice and he's not fit enough to play.
He's not even had 6 weeks off. He's had like 4.
Yeah.
He's had like 4 weeks off.
But trained, has no injuries, and you're telling me he's not fit enough to play now, but he is when he's like recovering from a 6-month ligament injury and literally doesn't train until the game day and plays. Do you know what I mean? But don't give me this bullshit, man. Just tell me he doesn't want to play. I'd rather they told us. They just said like he's not in the right headspace or he doesn't want to play. Like, just don't lie to me.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we all knew as fans that he wasn't going to play today. So
Yeah,
we all knew because of this situation he's not going to play today. So all this match fit bullshit is like he was never going to play today.
No,
never going to play today. But
no,
listen, I think that's our stance on Harry Kane. That's that. But yeah, I think that's everything. That wraps up today. Great result.
Good day.
Great performance.
We didn't have many last season, so this is nice, man. This is nice.
It's good to start the season off like this.
Yeah.
Like I said, expectations are low.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's just vibes. That's what you say. This season is just vibes. I've got no expectations. I don't care about where I'm finishing. I just want to have a good time in it. I just want to have a good time. I'm tired. I'm tired, man.
We're paying this money to watch Spurs. So give us something that we can actually be thankful for watching. Do you get what I'm saying? So, thank you all anyway for tuning in. Make sure you smash the likes as well. I know you had to watch this instead of Love Island. I appreciate it as well. Football is back. Yeah, football's back. So none of that Love Island shit anymore. I say that I'm gonna watch Love Island.
Straight on after so.
Thank you for listening, for watching. Jordan, thank you for coming back as well, bro.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
And we're going to be doing a lot more of these this season.
Always.
Folks, look out this week for content on the THFC show. We got a show on Tuesday. Look out for the Big Six tomorrow. We're streaming live at 8 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. as well. And then, we got Europa League this week. I'm not even going to bother doing any sort of streaming for that. I'm literally going to do like an IG live. It's not working. We're playing some random team in
Portuguese team, innit? Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it.
No.
Thank you all, and see you later. Take care.
Cheers, guys.